Welcome to the Free to Soar podcast. My mission is to inspire, empower, and equip heart-centered, mission-driven, kingdom-minded business owners to show up freely and fully as the brilliant, powerful change makers that you are, so that you can lead the business and the life of your dreams. You'll enjoy vulnerable, authentic conversations with me and other heart-centered, mission-driven leaders that will spark your heart and ignite your passion to powerfully transform you, your business, and your life from the inside out. Your next level of impact and income is about unleashing the fullness of you, reprogramming your limiting beliefs and patterns, tapping into and trusting your inner wisdom, and harnessing God's power within you so that you can unlock new possibilities in your business and your life. And this show brings it to you. Step with me into a God-powered reality wilder than your wildest dreams, with freedom, impact, abundance, and enjoyment that you were created for. Let's go. Well, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Free to Soar podcast. We have a treat for you today. You are going to love our guest. Today we have with us Caroline Harbin of Core Marketing, and we are going to talk about how being authentic is the key to greater freedom, to greater impact, enjoyment, and abundance in your business. It's the key to everything. It's the secret. It's the secret sauce of being most successful and most profitable and enjoying your business the most. And not only that, but your life. Authenticity is everything. And so welcome, Caroline, to our show or to this episode. And we are so excited that you're here.
Connie, thank you so much for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Yes, well, we will dive right in. We've got tons to talk about. We never have any shortage of things to share. And we are kindred souls, that's for sure, and our kindred hearts, I should say.
Truly.
And it's so fun. But so we got a lot for you guys today, and want to pour into you if you're listening. And so let me just tell you who Caroline is, so you know and understand what she is passionate about putting out into the world. She is, Caroline, like I said, is the owner of Core Marketing. She is all about building and uplifting people and businesses. She founded her business, Core Marketing and Strategies, to partner with business owners to connect to the core, C-O-R, which is Latin for the heart, to the core of their business, to the heart of their business, and to build their brands from the inside out. She serves small business owners in brand consulting, in digital marketing, and in sales strategy to help them connect to the right audience and grow their business. When she's not designing elevated websites, she's teaching yoga, or she's living life to the full with her husband, Daniel, and their precious golden doodle, Honey. So welcome again, Caroline. We are so happy you're here and can't wait to hear all that you have to share with us today.
Thank you, Connie. I have gotten to listen to a couple of episodes of the podcast and have just been so blessed and encouraged. And I'm just honored that you welcomed me to join you today.
Absolutely. Well, we are, like I said, you guys, we are kindred souls. We met each other. Gosh, we haven't known each other that long. I guess we met back, was it spring or summer? Maybe spring, late spring or summer. Mm-hmm. And when we met, it was like, oh my goodness, we see life and the world and business the same way. And we work with people. Connection. Yes, we work with people the same way from the inside out. We go to the heart of the matter and really get to people's hearts, because we both believe that is from the heart that we express our true, authentic essence. And then because our business is an expression of that authentic essence of who we are, that is, I believe, and I know that you do too, a special, unique chemistry, special mix of God's chemistry in each one of us, that we are passionate about sharing and creating change in the world in a positive way, in the way that we were designed to. And so when we realized that, it's been on ever since. So I just, I love everything that you do, and what you pour out into the world and into your clients, and watching you help them express their essence. And it's just a beautiful thing. So thank you for that.
Connie, thank you. I remember when we first met and then got coffee shortly thereafter, and time just went by like that. I think we talked for a couple of hours and looked up, and I just knew that God brought our paths together and allowed them to cross for a reason. And I'm so, so grateful that he did.
Absolutely, me too. Well, so I want you to share today, because we are all about on this podcast. We're all about, inspiring and empowering and equipping heart-centered business owners, and to show up in their fullness and to unleash what's in them, to show up in their brilliance and their true
Mm.
essence, and then be able to create their dream and do that in a way that allows them the freedom, the enjoyment, the impact that they want, and that God created them for. And so, tell us who you are as, like, if you could describe your essence as an entrepreneur, the essence of core marketing, what would you say that is?
I love that. Okay, so I've wrestled with this a little bit. I think it's a little twofold. I think there are the kind of
Yeah.
two parts to me. One is that I thrive when the people around me thrive. It is
Mm,
the highest and greatest win for me when I see the people in the environment around me authentically themselves, connected to their purpose and pursuing that purpose with a passion that lights them up. That
yeah.
makes my heart come alive. And to me,
Yeah.
if I wasn't a part of the environment around me thriving, I wouldn't be satisfied with any level of success. I want to see the people around me win. So there's that part
Yeah.
of me. And then there's the part of me that has a dream too and
Yeah.
has this calling on my life that I believe the Lord has given me. And that is to build a business, and that is to lead, and to grow something and to build. And so I would say my essence comes together and is purpose through what I'm doing with core marketing and strategies, in that my success is my client's success. I'm able to
Mm,
join them, to partner with them, and to build their dream, their purpose,
absolutely.
their vision. And in that,
Yeah.
I'm growing a company on the foundation of serving others. So I would say that's how my essence
Yeah.
shows up in core.
Mm. Oh, that's so beautiful. And isn't it amazing when we do lift others as we climb? We're all
Mm.
in this together. And we
Yes.
are, because we're all building something bigger than ourselves,
Mm.
as we expand our capacity as leaders and we grow and we're constantly developing, we're learning new skills and learning new things, and and growing into our capacity, the fullness of our capacity, we then bring others along in that. And it's so fun to do. And we need each other in that. And
Mm.
entrepreneurship can feel really lonely. It's a scary endeavor. I call it the greatest, hardest, most challenging personal development journey there ever was. It pulls
So
everything
true.
out of you. It pulls
Yes,
everything out of
it
you,
does. Mm.
and challenges everything in you. But it's the most rewarding journey. And when you have other people that are constantly, lifting you up, doing it with you, but also then you get to teach what you learn and grow
Yes.
with others and empower them as you are empowered. And
Oh,
that's the fun part of it.
absolutely. Oh, so
That's
true.
so
I think
good.
we're all in these different
Yep.
places on that journey of, like you said, self
Yep.
growth, discovery, all of that. And so as we get to walk, we meet other
Mhm.
people that are a couple of steps ahead, and they can pour into our life and just share a
Yeah.
wisdom and shine a light on that season. And then we get to do that
Hmm.
for the people who are running the race right there with us, in community with us, doing life together and growing together. And then hopefully that flows
Yes.
downstream too, to encourage others who are maybe a couple of steps behind where you are, but you can speak life over them and build them in that
And
space.
that's so beautiful. I love it. And then when we're more successful when we're doing it together. It's
Oh,
crazy.
no
We're
doubt.
created that way. We're created
Yes.
to live in collaboration and community. It's so much fun. Well, so tell me what, or share more about what are you, who do you like? What are your clients, or like, what kinds of clients do you work with, and what do you actually help them do? What that is that you would consider, your superpower, your uniqueness that you do in the way that you were just born to do.
I love that. My clients are amazing. My business
Yeah.
is relatively new, so I can speak to the clients thus far. Since April, I've had the amazing opportunity to onboard some incredible women owned businesses, primarily
Mm,
small businesses. But regardless of whether who owns the business or the size or scale of the company, the central feature that I see in my clientele and the people that I think are aligned with my heart and have naturally just been drawn to my business, and there's been that
yeah.
fit. So my natural fit of a client is someone who is heart-centered and who is interested in growing and scaling. I want someone that's growth minded. My clients are they're out to scale their businesses and to grow and to steward well the opportunity that they have before them with that business, but they're seeing that goal through the lens of serving others. I think that is what's
Mm,
critical. And that's what really aligns them with the mission of CORE, is that we do have this heart to serve, this intention to add value, to give back, and to make our community
yeah,
better. So I would say that is
absolutely.
primarily the central point that brings all of my clients in different industries together, is that heart.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. And so then what do you actually, once they find you and and feel aligned with wanting to, knowing that that's theirs to do in the world, and they want to partner with you in it, what do you actually, I mean, I said it in partly in the introduction, but I like to hear it from you because you say it in your heart-centered way. And I want people to hear your passion about it. Um, how do you do marketing and strategy and sales strategy differently? Not necessarily, I mean, we all have our uniqueness, not necessarily
Sure.
better than
Yeah.
others, but like, how do you do it differently? And what is so effective about it? Why is it so effective and so fulfilling
Mhm.
for you to do it the way that you do it? So that's a double question. How do you do it? And then what makes it so different and so special?
Oh, I love this question. Okay, so what we do is threefold. CORE helps business owners in three things: brand strategy, brand messaging, kind of getting to the heart of the why. We clear the
Yeah.
clutter of vague and confusing messaging to help business owners get to the heart of their brand and communicate that in a way that effectively reaches the heart of their ideal future client. That's important. It's got to be
Mm,
aligned, and you want to communicate in a way that is authentic to your heart for your
that's
business.
right.
And that will then connect to the heart of the right client for you. So that's part one of what we do. It's the branding part. And I've got to
Yeah.
say, I think you said, like, where's the superpower? I think that's where it
Hmm.
lies for me. I love nothing more than sitting down with a business owner and going through a process, asking them a lot of questions, and ultimately just getting to their heart, what gets them
Yes.
excited and lights up a passion and a fire in them, and then
Yeah.
communicate that in a way that speaks to the heart of their ideal future client. So that's part one of what we do. That's branding. Then we do digital
Hmm.
marketing. Lots of people do digital marketing. That looks like social media, ads, emails, websites, graphic design, logos, things like that, digital marketing. So we offer digital marketing in a way that aligns with that brand. I think what makes our digital marketing a little bit unique is actually the two pillars that surround it. I'll talk about the third pillar in a second, but that digital marketing needs to be built on the foundation of a really strong, thoughtful, and strategic brand that aligns with the heart of that
Yes.
business owner. So we can do
Yes.
the day-to-day activities of, I posted on social media, I sent an email to someone, and I updated my website. We can do those things. But if we're not starting and then maintaining the brand,
Hmm.
our messaging is lost. We lose the branding continuity, and that is something
Yeah.
that I think makes my business a bit different than other digital marketing agencies. Is we're not passing things off to a social media manager who's just generally creating posts. it's coming
Right.
through me, through the heart. I'm kind of the gatekeeper of that brand to make sure that everything that we do is intentionally aligned with that brand, and then with the sales strategy that I'll talk about in just a second. So we do the digital marketing supported by branding, supported by sales strategy. And I would say that's what makes it a little bit different than maybe another digital marketing agency. Not better, but just my twist on it. And then lastly, the last pillar of what we do is the sales strategy. So, Connie, I would love to kind of hear your thoughts on this, but it has been my experience that incredibly gifted, anointed, talented entrepreneurs may not necessarily have a lot of experience or training in sales, pipeline management, sales process, things of that nature.
Yep.
Is that what you're seeing too?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. They are a lot of entrepreneurs they're especially in heart-centered service-based businesses.
Right.
They are incredible practitioners. They're incredibly gifted technicians, but they typically, what the struggle is, and this was the case for me too. Well, I had a sales background, so I had a sales.
You had a leg up. Yes.
I felt comfortable and confident in sales, but so many, that is the most uncomfortable thing, because they view it through the eyes of it's sleazy and it's, it's vulnerable and it's rejection. It's full of rejection, and it's, asking people for something. They don't see sales as service. They don't see sales as solving someone's problem. And so they're not confident in it, and they're not real great adept at sales strategy. And so the other thing that, I see so much in business owners is that they are not great, true visionary CEOs, entrepreneurs. They know how to be in their business. They don't know how to grow their business to a scalable, sustainable way, And so those are the two big struggles. So you're exactly right. And having someone to come alongside, and the good thing is in all of this is that we don't have to be ashamed if we're not good at it. The good news is that that's where we can bring someone in who is great at it. And we just need to, as the entrepreneur, we need to be aware of what we are good at and what is our zone of genius, and be spending our time and energy on that, and not on the things that we're not. Because that's where you can come in and partner with somebody and change the game.
It does. Well, I saw that third pillar as something that almost came. I thought in my mind that if we did the branding and digital marketing, I was like, okay, well, that'll be good. Then I started working with people, onboarding clients, and I saw a need. And so the sales strategy and the consulting that comes in there was built based on a need that I saw, like you just said, because we have these amazing purpose-driven business owners that may not have sales experience or understand the importance of a customer journey, pipeline management, things of that nature. But while my background is marketing
or lead gen. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Or even the lead generation, but the whole sales funnel, lead generation funnel, all of that. And it feels overwhelming to people. It feels scary to people. And it's heavy and burdensome to people. And so what happens is we get busy in our business, and then we avoid doing those things. Or we don't do it well, or with an effective strategy that is, that really is, that is effective. And so that's where I see so many gaps. So that's so awesome that you help business owners fill in those gaps. That's a key point, or key service that you offer in the bundle of brand. Heart-centered branding, that's a whole nother story. Heart-centered branding, because you help people speak their clients' love language. You help
that's beautiful.
From heart to heart.
Yes.
From heart to heart. And that's what we need to be doing, is speaking love language.
I love that. So the sales strategy piece is very fun for me. My degree has a focus on marketing. And then I actually was in the sales world for about 6 years, and learned that, there are a lot of sales strategies out there that are not heart-centered and they're not effective. But I have really enjoyed being able to coach clients in that sales process. So just to summarize and get back to your original question, that's what we do. We do brand consulting, digital marketing, and sales strategy to help business owners share their heart, connect to the heart of their future clients, and then scale their business.
Wow. And to be able to have someone who is skilled and wise and heart-centered and trustworthy with that. And it absolutely is, it up levels the business, on so many levels, for a business owner to bring someone in like you to if they don't have in-house marketing, I mean, there's no better way to do it than have someone holistically do it for you. So that is so incredible. Let's talk just a minute, because we keep throwing this word around, and I just want to dive in and get to the whole why you and I are so passionate about heart-centered and authentic. Those are buzzwords. They're thrown around in our society a ton. But when we talk about that, what does that mean to you? And why is that so important? Why is heart-centered marketing? I do heart-centered from the inside out business planning, business envisioning, business strategy, business, development and creation and coaching. Why is it, what distinguishes the heart-centered marketing and the heart-centered coaching and why is that so powerful in its impact?
I love this. And you're right. They are buzzwords. I mean, we hear it all the time and it's almost becomes white noise. But for me, what it means, and I'm so curious to hear your answer to the same question, but for me, what that looks like, is showing up in your business, in your space, fully alive with your heart ignited to your calling that I believe that God has called you to do. And I think it takes us time to find that, to find that purpose. But what I'm really saying is someone alive to their purpose, someone who is on mission. They are pursuing a higher calling. And that is something we can't afford not to communicate because of how effective it is and how it absolutely distinguishes us. It sets us apart because ultimately God made each and every one of us so uniquely, so perfectly, and so purposefully. He created us for something great. And it's my opinion that when we're talking about showing up authentically as yourself, we're talking about working from the heart. It's you saying a big yes to that purpose and to that calling, and then doing it in the way that's unique to you. Because the plan that works for somebody else may not be the plan or path that's what God intended for you. And so for me, it's just walking in alignment with that purpose.
Absolutely. Me too. And, and that takes us being pretty aware of, it takes us doing our own inner work. It takes us not being perfect. There is no prerequisite of perfection. There is not, it's the opposite of being perfect. It's being authentic and just loving and embracing and accepting yourself in your humanness, in your total vulnerability, in your total free to be you self, that God made you to be. And I know I take people through one of the exercises that I do with the people that I work with is helping them really identify their essence and really get clear on what is your authentic essence. And, that I see as what sparks, when is your heart sparked? When is it ignited? When are you most passion fueled and how do you show up? And how do you show up when you are passion fueled and on purpose with your heart sparked and like fully alive? And because, society teaches us, and that it is as bad in business and in all of the things of business development and coaching and marketing as anywhere, that there are so many strategies and formulas and cookie cutter ways of doing things and shoulds and have tos. And in order to be successful, you should do it like this. You should show up like this. You have to do it like they did it. And, it's teaching people to do the opposite of being authentic. And what it does is it reinforces that we can't trust our heart, that we can't trust that inner knowing, that inner wisdom that I believe is our hotline to God. It's when we are authentic, when we are being our authentic self, we are on our power center. We are most powerful. We are most connected. We are most magnetic. We are resonating in our who God intended us to be. And in that place, we are pure magic.
Yes.
But how many people they shut that down a long time ago because they were taught that they couldn't trust their heart. They were taught that they couldn't do what they really wanted to do, that they had to, or they should be, or they shouldn't. I know that was the story of my life. I wrote a whole book about it, that, I learned the programmed me. I learned how to live and lead out of who I thought I should be and what I thought I should do. And it was all, I became a machine. I became it was trying to figure things out of my head, logical mind, and looking at what others needed me to be and wanted me to be and thought I should be. And the cost of that is huge. It will break you. It will absolutely break you.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll let you, it creates dis-ease in our body. It creates disconnection in our spirit. It takes away our magic and our power. It leads us off course. And then we get confused about who we are. We lose ourselves. We lose our purpose. And then things, especially in business, become hard and burdensome and obligatory and dutiful. And that breaks my heart to see people have to function like that. Because it's surviving.
Yeah.
It's not thriving.
I think it breaks your heart to see people like that, because you know what life is like on the other side of that. You know what it is to be fully alive to the purpose that's on your life and living in fullness of life as you pursue that purpose. And it has just been beautiful to see and now experience to work with you what you're doing to impact business owners all around the world, to lead them and to guide them in rediscovering their essence and their purpose, and then living fully alive in that purpose. It's cool to see your heart on fire as you say, hey, I know I've been there, and that's not what God has for us. So let's choose something better. And that something better is fullness of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you experience I don't know that part of your story. Did you experience the opposite? And then at what point was it's either you are free to do that from the get-go, and some people are. It's not common, but them. Some people are. But exactly. Yeah. And it's the easy way. It's a wonderful thing. It's a gift.
Yeah. No kidding.
Or at some point, there's an awakening. There's an awakening to your true self. And then it's like, oh, wait, I really, I have permission to let this fire out of me. I don't have to hold this anymore.
I don't have to make myself small. Yeah. Oh,
that's
gosh,
right.
For sure. For sure. So yes, I, right out of college, and actually, let me backstep. Even in high school, I was very, very competitive. I was very driven. My grades were very important to me. All the things were so important. I rode in the equestrian sports up to national championship and was just all in there. And, it was just so important to me that anything that I was doing it with excellence. And at that point in my life, there was a high priority of not just that I was doing whatever it was with excellence, but that it was also like the right thing on paper. You talked about the should do, shouldn't do's. That was so important to me. So out of school, I took a job that looked great on paper, and it was presented to me as the super great opportunity. And I know that God had a purpose in that. But what I will say is that I did the should do. And I stepped into that, and I was absolutely miserable. And I found little pockets of gold and pockets of joy in it. I got to work with a lot of women owned businesses, which I think was one of the things that the Lord used to show me, hey, working with women and helping them in their businesses is something that I have for your trajectory. I have this for your future. But at that point, it was not an environment or a role or a place that allowed me to be me and to thrive in the way that God created me to be. And if I'm being totally honest, I don't think that at the time I knew that the way that God had created me to be, to lead with the heart, was totally okay. And was what I should embrace. And so that being said, yes, I for sure have been on the other side. And it creates disease in the body. It creates a lack of confidence, a disconnection. I mean, the list goes on, but I'll sum it up by saying that's no way to live life. God created us for so much more. And when I finally gave myself permission to dream again, I spent a long season of just really seeking, what is it that makes my heart come alive? What are the things that I can't stop thinking about, reading about, talking about when I'm not doing it for work, and just really developing that curiosity, even bringing my community into it and saying, what do you see as the direction I should go here? So it was a long season of that in preparation that led me to the place of making the decision to start my own company and to launch Core.
I love that so much. It's like, I liken it in my book to when we learn along the way, but are starting early on and all along the way throughout life, that there are certain parts of us that we kind of have to bury alive. And we just kind of shut down. We shut off our heart. That's going to lead us into trouble. Every time I followed my heart, that created disappointment, or that created sadness, or I can't be me, because when I really show up as me, then this person responds this way, and then I'm rejected, and this happens. And so we tell ourselves all these stories of what we do have to do, and who we have to show up as. And there is a great price for that. And I see so many people doing it, even if if they're owning their own business. What I see so many times, and this was my story too, I got it okay that I was free to own my own business and really free to pursue my dream. But the way that I thought I had to pursue my dream was also wearing me out, because I had not learned at that point how to set boundaries and how to really, really understand what brought me joy, and that I had true freedom to do things the way that I really wanted to do it, and create my business in a way that is pleasurable and enjoyable and is freedom giving. And, and we limit ourselves with what we believe is possible for us and available to us until, like you said, until we have that moment where we're like, oh, wait, this path is taking me to a slow death. This path is allowing me I'm existing in my life. I'm existing in my days. I am struggling. I am stressed, and we are not created that way. And we have an awakening at some point, and our heart gets ignited, and then we start to really discover. And I love the questions that you said. What can I not stop talking about? What can I not get enough of? And I love the questions. What makes my soul sing, and what breaks my heart? Because you ask yourself those questions, and you'll get to your purpose and your passion, and then look along the way at the pieces of your story. And I want to bring this up. Isn't it so kind and loving of God that even when we are off path from his divine design for us, you did what you should have done, what you thought you should do, or what you thought made sense. But even in that, he still is inviting us he's bringing pieces in. And if we don't miss those pieces like you did, you found the little nuggets of joy. You found the little pieces that he kept inviting you into this. He kept sparking your heart with these little pieces, and you paid enough attention to acknowledge that and to open yourself to that, and then had the courage to see it for what it is, and then begin to pursue that and realize that, oh, wait, this is all part of the story that he's writing, that's taking me to the place where he intended for me to be when I'm in my true authenticity. And so I just want to say that in encouragement, because it's not, for the people out there who are not in the center of your purpose, and you are not just on fire every day and, loving what you do and doing it the way that you love, which you really can do. It really can be that way. And sales and marketing and business strategy and business growth and lead generation can be fun. It can be enjoyable. That's the whole, and that's what Caroline and I do. It's like we make all of those things. We empower you and equip you so that you can actually do it your way, and do it in a way that lights you up, and not in a way that feels heavy and hard and not sustainable.
So good.
Yeah. And so, but what happens though let's talk about when we're not showing up in our authentic selves. Let's talk about the things, and I've heard you talk about these things, like when we're not in our authentic selves, yes, we're in the struggle, we're in the striving, we're in the surviving, but we're also, that's when the imposter comes out. That's when fear gets a hold of us. That's when, because we're not in our power, we're not living from our heart. So all of those things, when we're not centered in what makes us come alive, all of those other things that we struggle with get greater. And so talk about that and how you see that show up for people, and how being authentic is the antidote to that.
Yes, I love that question. I think that when you show up as authentically yourself, you naturally, and I don't even know how to explain this, you might do a better job of this than I could, but I feel like you naturally attract the right people to your business. So lead gen builds momentum. You naturally communicate the right messaging for your business, your service, whatever, because it's aligned and it's coming out of the heart. When we try to put ourselves in the box of the should do's or shouldn't do's, we show up inauthentically, and there is something energetically that does not work about that. It's like we're trying to swim upstream, and so it's harder. And my encouragement is, instead of swimming harder and striving more, to just get in the flow of God's plan for your life by taking those little moments to ask those questions. Like Connie said, what makes my soul sing? I love that. For me, it was what can I not stop talking about? What's the thing that I'm doing in my free time? And maybe even if that doesn't look like a career change, because I don't know that that's the case for everybody. Like you said, Connie, maybe they own their own business, but they're just following somebody's plan, strategy, and doing the things that I should be doing. But I'll give you an example.
Or the way that I only think I can. This is the industry's standard. This is the way that, or this is how I pay my bills. And so I'm afraid if I make an adjustment, that's where I was. It's like, if I really do what I really feel led to do in this season, then what am I going to do with all my paying clients that are expecting me to continue doing it this way when that was killing me?
Leap. Yeah, if I take that leap of faith, will there be provision? But that's it. It is a leap of faith. It was for me for sure. And I just had to trust God that he was going to provide in that. And he did. Yeah. And he's so gracious in that way. One of the things you said, though, I want to circle back to it. You said, this is the industry standard. I want to challenge that. And I ran into that so much. I've seen it a lot.
Me too.
But God does not call us to only follow an industry standard. So what you have the opportunity to do as a business owner is you have the opportunity to disrupt an industry. But you'll never explore what it looks like to disrupt an industry, to do something differently, to innovate, to create, to reflect the image of the creator in that new original organic creation if you're not taking time to make sure that you're centered and you're connected to your heart and you're not checking a list of do's and don'ts, or you're not just following a protocol or a process, but you are sensitive to that guidance within you and following that. That'll lead you places far beyond an industry standard will ever go.
That's it. I love that. We are not called to be ordinary. We're called to be extraordinary. And that doesn't mean perfect. That means extraordinarily, uniquely us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a reflection of, if I am not showing up as the authentic reflection of who I really am and who I was created to be, then number one, I am not honoring God. I am not, and I don't mean to condemn anyone of that. That is not coming from a condemning place. That is not my heart. It's just, it's what it does is it creates resistance. It blocks flow of abundance. It allows fear to have a say because we are partnering with a lie. Technically, I don't mean that we're doing it on purpose. We're doing the very best we can. So we need to give ourselves grace and compassion and love through this whole process, and not judgment, but, cause that just perpetuates the cycle. But we do need to realize the truth. And the truth is that we are not the reflection. We're not the authentic reflection of who we were made to be. And so we are blocking what God has said is already ours. And the path that he has for us and all the opportunities that he has for us, including the provision that he has for us. And so, of course, everything's going to be hard. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't work. And we stay in the struggle of that, not even knowing how much we're really struggling on a daily basis and how hard it really is. Because I think at some point, and this was me, I think I wore somewhat of a badge of honor because I thought if I worked hard and I worked all the time and I self-sacrificed, that was honoring to God. And that meant success. And it was the opposite. What it did is it almost killed me. and I see that for other people so often. And that's why I do the work that I do. And I know that's why you do the work that you do, because you know how effective this way is, but how ineffective the other way is.
One thing that you said earlier was it allows us to live in our magic, like to tap into that superpower. And I absolutely love that. I think that when we show up as ourselves authentically in relationships and community and business in any way, it is naturally the very thing that God created us to do. It's connected to our purpose, but also it takes a lot of other stuff that's kind of like crappy stuff of our human existence off the table. Like, for instance, comparison, competition, feeling like there's not enough business out there. Some of these fleshly things, that scarcity mindset, things of that nature that we see. I think when we show up as authentically ourselves, no one no one, much like your fingerprint doesn't look like anyone else's fingerprint. It's uniquely and perfectly and creatively designed. No one's going to show up like you. And so I'd almost love to think of it in that sense too. Think about all the things that being authentic takes off the table. We're not looking left and right to compare our business to other businesses. We're not competing. We don't compete. We just follow what we're called to do for our businesses that is perfectly aligned with your client, not their clients, but your client.
That's exactly. I say that to our team here all the time. Like, I couldn't take your client from you if I tried, because your client, who God has anointed and appointed to be with you, because they are in true alignment with your story, your heart, the way you bring it, the way you transmit, the way you deliver things, they need you.
Right.
You know, and not that they're worried about me taking their client. My whole point in saying that to them is just to encourage them that no one can be you like you can.
It takes scarcity off the table.
It does. It adds, and competition and comparison. You're exactly right. And imposter and fear also, because
that's a good,
because it's, that all of that talk in our mind, the monkey mind, will tell us all day long. But like, when we know it's not about us, what I do every day that I'm called to do is not about me showing up in my flesh. It is about me being called. And as a result of being called, I'm equipped. And so trusting that if I'm going to show up, the Holy Spirit's showing up, and he's given me the wisdom. And if he's brought this person to me, then I am made to work with them, and he's going to give me everything I need in order to give them everything that they need. And he's going to, as a result, then there's not going to be any lack in my business either, because everything's going to flow in if I'm in alignment. And that's why I call it, when we're in alignment, we're on our power center, and we have a hotline to God. You know, it's just this steady flow of in and out. And I just can't explain how powerful that is.
And peaceful too.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I'm human too. I mean, growing up as in the performance mindset, I still get into that. I'll open my phone and see, it looks like someone else has got something that I thought I wanted, or, and then I have to remind myself, but I know to bring myself back to, no, wait, you're you. And when you are shining radiantly as you, authentically you, there's nothing you're missing. And so
we all do. We have to bring ourselves back to that truth. I think,
absolutely.
That's being human.
Absolutely. No doubt. Well, and I know we've got just a few minutes, but I want to ask, so give some encouragement. If that person out there who is thinking, oh man, this sounds wonderful. Can I really do this? Is this really possible for me? And where do I even start with this with my business? I know where we would start from a coach standpoint, and I'm happy to help you guys with that and give you some guidance and some support with that.
Can't recommend that enough.
But well, thank you. But from a, understanding, in general, just as in general encouragement for them, what would you say to them? And then secondly, and I'll remind you of the second part of this question if we lose track. The second part is, from a marketing standpoint and a sales strategy standpoint, if they realize after this conversation that they're not right smack dab in the center, heart-centered like they want to be, what encouragement would you give them, and what steps would you encourage them to take?
Okay. So generally speaking, to a person, a business owner, I would say that for me, it's really hard to create when I'm in a confined space. And so I try to, it's probably not the best way to say it, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you can create some space in your life, block some time on your calendar, rest, maybe take some Sabbath, if that's a practice that you follow, And during those quiet moments, those still quiet moments, ask the Holy Spirit to give you guidance on, who am I? Who are you, God? I think that's an important question. Maybe we ask that before we even ask, who am I? But like, God, show me who you are. Show me who I am. Show me what you've called me to do, and show me how you've called me to see the world around me. In those quiet moments when we can be sensitive, I think we get so drunk on like the hustle of productivity and the grind and all the things. But in that noise, the quiet whispers of the Holy Spirit can be kind of drowned out. So creating space to co-create with God and ask him what he has for you. And then definitely call Connie. I mean, that's a great next step.
Or you. Or you.
So that would be my suggestion as it relates to just generally, or, for business, but then specifically as it relates to marketing, I would ask yourself some questions like this. When I'm sharing my mission statement for my business, when I'm sharing what we do and how we serve, is my heart coming alive? And if not, maybe think about that. Something else that I would say is, are you attracting the clients that feel so aligned and right for your business? If you're attracting a lot of people that really don't feel like they're your people, you might want to consider your messaging. And then on how authentic that is as it relates to your heart. And then lastly, I would kind of take inventory of whether you have employees or your clients, and ask them, can you share what we've done for you and what you want to hear? If your branding is authentic and if you've done it successfully, you want to hear them unprompted say your mission statement right back to you. So those would be some of the considerations that I would offer as you're thinking about showing up authentically in your marketing and in your branding. And I think you can talk about sales strategy and you can talk about digital marketing mediums and modalities, but to answer the question on the authenticity piece, I would definitely focus on the branding there.
That's so good. Yeah, because we have to, I love what you said at the beginning in the general, we have to get quiet. That's the thing, that's the, busyness is the enemy of our, and we think it's productive, but busyness is actually the enemy of our heart, and really hearing, the inner wisdom we can't, I always say we can't create in a pressure cooker. You can't create in a pressure cooker. You have to have space, open space, quiet, stillness, inspiration to be able to create. But that creativity we want to flow from our heart. That is so good. And we can do that. It is not too late. It is not, you don't have to reinvent the whole wheel. You don't have to, you can just start by opening your heart just a little bit today and getting a little bit more connected to what really breathes life into you. And so I love that. Well, now if they're ready to like, oh my gosh, like I love everything she said and I want to talk to her. I want her in, to partner with me in my business. And they realize they are ready to like get the help that they need from the person who really gets them and can pull that out of them. How do they find out? How do they connect more with you and find out more about you, or schedule time with you?
Yeah, thank you. They're welcome to shoot me an email. My email is Caroline at Core, COR, remember Latin for heart, coremarketing.co. Or they can connect with me on Instagram. I think we're going to put that link in the show notes. So they're welcome to connect with me there.
We'll have that in the show notes.
And schedule a complimentary consult where you can just share with me about your business and your heart, and we will go from there.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll make sure that all of her information is in the show notes for sure. And then anything that, just in closing, if there's anything that just is on your heart right now, that for that person out there who, maybe they're doing it with their whole heart, and maybe they just need to hear some encouragement to keep going, or to do it even, more full out and more fully authentically them. Or it's the person who's struggling and has the realization at this point that they're not. What encouragement do you have for them? What do you want to say to them to awaken them?
If I could speak to that person, or really where I was before, what I would say to younger me, or what I would say to that person would be that there is a purpose on your life, and there's a calling that only you can accomplish. God has created you for more, and he has created you for fullness of life. And my encouragement to you is to not lose hope wherever you are, but to seek God's guidance and direction for your next step, because you were made for more, and there is something out there for you to do, what only you can do. And that takes all competition, all comparison, all fear, all imposter syndrome off the table, because what is uniquely made for you is there, and it's available to you, and there's a great opportunity ahead of you.
And just feel, I want you guys to just close your eyes and breathe that in for just a minute. Feel the freedom of that and the hope of that, because she's right. That is the truth. That is what we're here for. And if we're living any other way, we're being robbed. And again, that's not your fault. I didn't know either, and we have to love ourselves and forgive ourselves for not knowing what we didn't know.
Yes.
But let's not let that keep us out of our destiny, out of the promised land. I mean, we're just like the Israelites. They had an 11-day journey to the promised land, and God said, go. He said, it is yours. I give it to you. There's nothing you have to do except walk in. And we are just like them, that we will walk around in the wilderness because of our doubt and our unbelief and our disobedience and, our shut down hearts and all the things for 40 years before we actually awaken to the fact that, that's really mine and I can have that. That's my destiny. And so don't let another day go by where you're being robbed of your destiny.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Caroline, so much for joining us and for sharing all that for number one, being brave enough, being courageous enough to especially getting it as young as you are. Oh my gosh, what I would have given if I had gotten it at your age. So your wisdom is just amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us, and your courage, to help so many live their purpose. There's nothing better that we can do in this world. Nothing more rewarding, nothing more impactful than helping others, than living out our purpose and helping others do the same.
So good.
So thank
Connie,
you for what you do.
Loved connecting with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And you guys reach out to Caroline and connect with her. And obviously you're going to want to follow her on social media too. So we'll put all that in the show notes. So make sure you do that. But and if something today has inspired you, don't shut it down. Just write it down. Hold to it, set as an intention. You don't even have to know how it's going to happen. You don't have to know how it's going to change. Just hold it in your heart and let God speak to it, and let him bring you the freedom and the breakthrough that you're looking for. And then ask for help wherever you feel led to ask for help. And help is available. Support is available to you. And then if you were inspired and you know that somebody would be so blessed by listening to this message today, then I hope that you'll share it with them. And we will see you right back here next time on another episode of the Free to Soar podcast. Thanks, you guys. See you soon. Thanks for joining me today on the Free to Soar podcast, where we empower and equip you to lead the business and the life of your dreams with freedom, impact, enjoyment, and abundance. I look forward to our next episode together, and I invite you to subscribe to be notified of new episodes as they are released. Please share this or your favorite episode with a friend or a loved one, and I'd love it if you'd leave a review on iTunes and Spotify.